Today, I want to talk about steroids, specifically the negative side effects of steroids. And specifically within the negative side effects that you'll see while you're on steroids. Now, I'm not saying you should be on steroids or that I'm promoting taking steroids. I want to discuss this so that maybe you'll get a better understanding of the drugs themselves and hopefully not use them, because I don't think anybody should be on them. Of course, people are going to use them, and it's very, very popular right now. You hear a lot about natty or not, this or that. Well, I wanted to talk about this because I've taken steroids myself when I was very young, all right, 17, 18 years old. Everyone was doing it, okay, and I stopped playing basketball and I wanted to get bigger. And this was at the time that you could go and get them at your local vitamin shop, GNC, things like that. And so they weren't full injectable steroids, but they were doing the exact same thing that a steroid does. And how do steroids work? Well, they shut off your natural hormone levels, right, testosterone, and they replace it with a synthetic version. And you can get negative side effects of this just because you are shutting it off. And if you come off of the synthetic and you don't kick back on your natural, if you don't do that in a good way, you can screw up your hormones and they may never be the same. And who knows if I did them correctly or not. When I went to get them, the guy said, "I don't want you to take these." And I was like, "Well, I'm just going to go to another place and get them." He's like, "Well, if you are going to do that, I want to make sure that you're doing it the right way." And he made specifically sure that you're going to get this, this, and this, and you're going to make sure that when you get off the steroids, you're going to take this, and you're going to take that, and you're going to make sure that you have these other drugs, these other supplements while you're taking it, so that you help keep your liver clean and you help your body not have such negative side effects. Well, I still ended up having negative side effects. I didn't even make it through the entire cycle of the steroid. I stopped about 3 weeks in. It was a 4-week cycle. I stopped about 3 weeks in. So why did I experience negative side effects when everyone else, like I knew a ton of people that were taking steroids at the time, and they didn't have these things. And some of them might include irritability, crazy dreams, or aggression, like they talk about roid rage and things like that. You get these weird sensations, acne, bacne. There's a couple other things that can't come to mind, but the negative side effects, I think, affect certain types of people, and we're going to get into that. So let's talk about, again, what steroids do. They shut off your natural testosterone and they replace it with the synthetic version. Well, let's just say your natural levels of testosterone, let's just take me for example. I don't know my numbers, but let's just say I'm 500, okay? So my natural level is 500. And I then take a steroid that synthetically makes it seem like, to the rest of my body, because these mimic testosterone, it makes it seem like I have 1,000. So I go from 500 to 1,000. That's a 100% increase in that hormone level in my body. So that's a big jump. It's 100%. It's doubling what my body's natural levels would be. Now let's take someone else. Let's take Joe. Joe's natural levels are 750. So I'm at 500, his natural levels are 750. We both take steroids. We both get to a synthetic level of 1,000. Well, what's his percentage? His increase is only by 250. 250 out of 750 is a third. So he's only increasing it by a third. I'm increasing it by 100%. It's only 250 difference between us, but I'm doubling mine and he's only going up by a third. So his body will still get that benefit of that extra 250 to get to 1,000, just like mine will benefit from getting to 1,000 from 500. But then the other things in your body might react differently because of that big jump. In my body, it's got this huge jump, whereas in his body, it's just got a little jump. So they kind of know what to deal with. Well, if you think about guys who are bodybuilders, who already have freak genetics, what do they probably have? They probably have elevated levels of hormones in their body that allow them to grow muscle, that allow them to have low body fat, that allow them to have the aggression to hit it hard in the gym, okay? All those things are super important if you want to get big. They naturally have that. I've heard it talked about in the bodybuilding community. If you got rid of all the steroids from all the bodybuilder competitions, the same people would be first, second, and third at the shows. Why? Because genetics at the end of the day are the number one factor that are going to contribute to you looking the way that you look. It's not how hard you work. Everybody works hard. It's not the drugs, because everybody's on drugs. It's the genetics. Well, if you think about, I don't have the genetics to get to be, no matter how much steroids I take, I don't have the genetics to be able to put that much muscle on. Like I said, I took steroids when I was young. Maybe it was because I was young, but I for damn sure know that for me, building muscle is not very natural. I'm 170, maybe 75. I go from about 170 to 175 pounds right now. And that's heavy for me. I can get really, you might say, JD, you're skinny right now. Exactly. It's very, very, very hard for me to put muscle on. I'm naturally super skinny. So someone else that's naturally bigger, their genetics are, they go into the weight room, they lift a little bit of weight, and they blow up. Well, that person isn't going to see the negative side effects of the steroids like I would, because it's not that big of a jump, because their body naturally is used to having those high levels of those hormones in their body. So this is just a theory of mine. This is just something that I think about in my head when I think about these things. And I see the difference between some people. Now, there probably are other genetic components that go into seeing negative side effects. You might have a predisposition for, balding, right? Hey, what happened, right? Well, I think I already had a predisposition for balding to begin with. So did it make it worse? Did it exacerbate it? Did it completely create it? I don't know. But you see what I'm saying? These negative side effects might be more felt by someone that has a genetic predisposition, and they amplify it, so that's not good. But on top of that, if you don't respond to these things well, because again, you're at a certain level already, and when you double that, it's a huge jump. But if it's just going up by a little bit, you'll get that extra benefit. You'll be able to lift harder. You'll get that anabolic growth factor, but you're not going to see the negative side effects. That's just a theory of mine. That's just something that I bounce around in my head when I think about why do these guys all, they go on the shows and they don't have any acne, all right? They're good people. They're not out committing crimes and doing all these crazy things. Maybe some are, right? But you see them and it's like, okay, like they just get all these positive side effects. Well, why did I get, and I did get positive side effects. I got big, I got jacked, I got strong. It did help. But I also had those negative side effects, so much so to the point that I was like, no thanks. I'm not even going to finish it. I still had, right, that little bottle, or I think I gave it to a friend of mine who was doing it. And unfortunately for him, he did not heed the advice of the nutrition store supplement seller. He said, I'm just going to save money. I'm not going to come off this. He didn't come off the steroids. Well, and he had a lot of negative side effects as well. So anyways, I would highly recommend you not take steroids. There are tons of ways of increasing your testosterone naturally. You know what? I think I'll link to another video that I just saw about a guy who just did his own little experiment, and the things in that video are very, very logical and they work. Getting better sleep, eating natural foods, making sure that you're getting enough foods, making sure that you're getting enough protein, all these things, because his goal, he wanted to increase his testosterone level. And so and then a couple other supplements and things like that. I think if you're looking for increases in your testosterone or increases in, strength and size and all of that, I would highly recommend not taking steroids and finding natural ways of doing that, because there's probably something that you could do in your life right now that will instantly give you benefit. But like I said, the negative side effects whether you know that you're going to get negative side effects or not. Like I said, you might fall into the category of person that isn't going to feel as many of the negative side effects. I still don't think it's beneficial because it's shutting off your natural testosterone. And I wouldn't do that unless if I was just going to take steroids for the rest of my life. And I think that's what a lot of these guys end up doing. I heard Louis Simmons talk about that, West Side Barbell. He's like, I've been on steroids since I was a certain age. And he's like, I'm just going to keep taking them. And so, again, some people just do that. But there's also about cycling on, cycling off so that you don't shut up. I wouldn't recommend it, all right? I wouldn't recommend it regardless, because what's the point? Like I said, why not just have all the bodybuilders just stop doing steroids, because they're still going to look great, and they're the guys who are the winners aren't going to have any necessarily that big of an advantage that they don't already have over the competition, because it's, again, comes down to genetics. So anyways, those are some thoughts on steroids. I would highly advise you not to take them, but something to think about when you're comparing yourself to other people. Let's just say you and a friend decided to do it. You might understand a little bit more from my theory. Okay, again, it's just theory. It's not science, but this is through experience and through observation. And that's what a lot of times you get on my channel, because I just like to talk to the camera. So that's what we were talking about today. And until next time, I'll see you then.